try to start searching for a job, because you never can tell. You might be the best person for the job and you get the job even before you land if you're a permanent resident. Allocate a budget to set yourself up. You don't want to be stranded, and Canada is not like the place where you can say, my neighbor, give me this one. In Canada, we have Canadian resume, such that you have to tailor it to the kind of job that you're looking for. Make sure that you check your stopover destination, because you might need a transit visa. Try to get your driver's license. Very important, guys. Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Yemisi. On this channel, I create lifestyle videos. I also make videos on immigration, relocating to Canada as a student or permanent resident. And in this video, I'm going to be sharing things to do before you relocate to Canada. So before you move to Canada, try to do all of these things. Guys, just pardon me in this video, because I was just trying to edit right now and I realized that the video I made, there was no volume. And it's also a gloomy day, so everything is kind of just working against this video, but we have to do this video. First, I have to put a disclaimer. I'm not a licensed immigration consultant, so whatever I'm giving you here is based off my experience. In Canada, we have 3 academic start dates. We have the January start date, which is the winter semester. We have the May start date, which is the spring/summer semester, and we have the September start date, which is the fall semester. Right now we're in April and we're moving to May, which is the spring/summer semester. And I've seen people send messages to me saying what should they do before they relocate to Canada and the likes. On this channel, I have 2 videos that I'm going to drop in the description box. The first one talks about what to bring to Canada when you're relocating, and the second is things you do in the first week in Canada. Everything I'm going to say in this video is not in an order of priority, you know, it's just based off of how I thought about it. So don't try to think you have to do this before you do that. The first one I have here is get all your important documents together before you relocate to Canada. If you're coming for your master's program, try to have your undergraduate degree, just in case, you know, just have those hard copies. For me, I have all my hard copies. I'd advise you do same. If you're coming for an undergraduate program, have your high school certificate, have your medical certificate or police certificate, professional certificate, all the important documents that you think that are valuable to you as an individual. Try to have them, just because aside applying for your study visa, after a while you might want to apply for your permanent residence if you choose to stay back in Canada, and you might need those documents. You might also need some of those documents for your study permit extension if your study permit should get expired before the end of your program. And for people coming in as permanent residents, you might need it when you're trying to apply for your citizenship for Canada. Try to have those important documents ready. Second one I have is get a driver's license. I'm not even going to go deep into this one because I feel like it is self-explanatory. See, I do not have a driver's license. I didn't bring one when I was coming to Canada because I wasn't driving there. And guess what? If you're not driving in your home country, and if you are driving but you don't have a license, you are as good as you never drove in your home country. So when you come here, you have to go through all the processes of having a new driver's license for your province, because in Canada all provinces have different processes when it comes to acquiring a driver's license. So my candid advice is for you to get it, because when you come to Canada as a student, you can use that license until 90 days after your study permit expires, and for permanent resident you can use it for 90 days when you land in Canada, okay, before you will now be mandated to change your driver's license into the one that is being used in the country. So try to get your driver's license. Very important, guys. The second one is convert your cash to US dollars, because USD, as you guys know, is the world accepted currency. It's easier to have that deposited in your account when you open a bank account here, and if you have card directly from your home country, it's also good. Meanwhile, I know that you have to fill a form. I think it's a disclosure form or something, disclosing the amount that you have. So if you have 10,000 and above, you have to disclose it to them. Yeah, I think it's $10,000. I'll confirm that and put it on the screen if it's wrong. Another thing I would say is try to get an Airbnb, hotel, or book an apartment. If you have a family member here, this one should not be a problem for you, because they will help you settle in, you know, get accommodation, or you probably stay with them for a while and you both go out to get a place. But if you don't, I'll advise that if you come in as a student, try to book with the school, just because if you don't have someone here, there might not be that chance to help you out. But if you do not want to start off in a school accommodation, you can book a hotel or try to book an Airbnb, so that when you come in, you can have those time to search for a place. Because a lot of time is usually needed to go check an apartment out, because you might end up getting one that will leave you frustrated or annoyed. You know, there are some houses that you might see the pictures online, they might be the best, but physically they might not be the best. Okay, so I would always advise to take time to get an apartment. If you don't have anyone, just try to look for those alternatives. This one, I would say familiarize yourself with the application that your school uses. My school uses Canvas app for delivering courses, uploading maybe assignments, uploading syllabus and the like. So I'll say try to familiarize yourself with that. Also try to familiarize yourself with the course syllabus, because especially if you're coming to study a program that is different from what you had studied before in your home country at maybe undergraduate degree or even at the master's level, and you probably just come to study under master's program, try to familiarize yourself with the syllabus, just so that you can keep your mind prepared and ready for the journey ahead. Because it's a journey. Back in my home country, we did not have an application where you have to like upload and you see maybe your group members and the like, so it was a bit new for me. So that's why I'm telling you to try to familiarize yourself with this application, because you have already gotten your PIN to access the platform, your student ID, and all those necessary things that you need. I think you need to do that, so that's why I'm adding that to this list. Another thing is start searching for a job so that you can prepare your resume to match your preferred job. In Canada, we have Canadian resume, such that you have to tailor it to the kind of job that you're looking for. I have a video on my channel where I explain that, and where I also try to explain how to write a Canadian resume. I'll leave that link somewhere here. When you're coming to Canada, if you're coming as a permanent resident, I'd say that you should try to familiarize yourself with like the job search. A lot of people get jobs before they even come to Canada, in case you don't know already. So try to start searching for a job, because you never can tell, you might be the best person for the job and you get the job even before you land if you're a permanent resident. And if you're also a student, you can get your part-time job, you know, or just try to know what they have in that vicinity, such that you can just start tailoring your resume to fit your resume and your cover letter, by the way, to fit that job, so that when you land, you do not have to stay for a long time before you get a job. Another thing that I would say, which is probably what you're doing right now, is watch videos on life in Canada, where you're going to in Canada. To me, I will not restrict you to watch videos about the province itself that you're going to, just because when I was coming, I was watching everybody and anybody that was sharing anything about Canada, because I'll be seeing things from different lenses, right? I was just watching different people, and it's just good because what this person says and that person might not say it. Okay, so you kind of have like a general knowledge of how to even survive in the country. So I'd say you should do that as well. Another thing is allocate a budget to set yourself up. My advice would be 3 months budget. When I was coming to Canada, I didn't do this, but I was just lucky. So I would say that please do it, because the first mistake I made was not bringing cash to the country. I'd totally forgotten that I would not be able to access that money here. Thank God I came with someone, which might not be the case for you. So please try to have 3 months budgets, just because you might not get a job immediately you land. You will definitely need money to take care of yourself and set yourself up, get like warm clothing when you land. So you need available cash at your disposal. Another thing that I would say is that try to have funds in your account, just because you definitely need to purchase like some personal items, you need to purchase groceries. And if you don't already know, if you've not been following Canadian news, grocery prices are on the rise right now. In fact, the federal government is trying to give grocery rebates to low-income earners. That's how bad it is at the moment. And you guys know that inflation is already a thing across the world, so you don't want to be stranded. And Canada is not like the place where you can say, my neighbor, give me this one. Just joking, but every house that I've lived in, I do not even talk to my neighbor. Like, I don't know them and I don't talk to them. You guys will just probably bump into yourselves, maybe in the elevator or on the stairs or whatever. So just get yourself prepared. Okay, get yourself prepared financially so that you do not get stranded. Next thing I'm going to say is do not be too quick to get textbooks recommended by a lecturer, because you may find some in the library. In the library, you might have access to a book for a month or even for the whole semester. So I would not necessarily advise you to purchase a textbook. Some of the textbooks that are recommended by the lecturers, you might even get it online. If you search online, you might see the whole textbook. So don't be too quick to say, oh, the lecturer already recommended some books, so let me try to buy them online. You might not necessarily need them. I'm sure that as I'm talking about these things, some people are wondering, like, she's not saying get clothes where you're coming. Yes, I'm not talking about getting clothes, because if you're coming from a country that is usually hot and humid, like Nigeria or India, you might not necessarily get access to the kind of clothing that would suit this weather. I hope I'm making sense. So personally, I would advise that you should come here before you get your clothing, but of course you can get 1 or 2 clothing that you would need, because I mean you have to wear something to come down, right? And then you probably need 1 more, because in Canada nobody was even looking at you. When you come in, you can even have access to thrift stores where you can get good clothing for less. So like I would not advise you to invest so much in clothing from your home country. This one, pay for flights. As the closer you get to the date of departure, the more expensive it becomes. When the flight date is getting closer, it becomes more expensive. So I would advise that once you get your medical request, whether for PR, for students, start searching for different flights that would be coming to Canada so that you can pay for the one that is cheaper. During my time, I wasn't really able to do this. Like I had to do it like impromptu, and I know how much I spent, and that was even at the time it was a lot cheaper than now. So I would advise that you should do that, because you don't want to be spending so much. And that thing that you should also keep in mind is the number of stopovers or layovers that particular flight will be having. Some people don't like to experience layovers and stopovers. I don't think there's any flight from Africa that comes directly to Canada, like directly without a stop. So you would most likely have 1 stop or so, but try to like check how many stops so that your mind is prepared. You know, you get food and everything, just, you know, all of those necessary things that you have to put in mind. This one is very important. Make sure that you check your stopover destination, because you might need a transit visa for it. For example, if you're stopping over in the US, I guess you need a transit visa. So if you know that you are going to stop over in a destination that requires transit visa, try to apply for it already so that you don't get stranded when you eventually land there, because you might not even be able to land, and when you land you might not be able to move from there. Okay, you don't want to have all of those hula balloons, all those problems happening to you while you're trying, because the worst time to get frustrated is during transit to Canada. It's already a long journey enough. Okay, so yeah, I'll advise that you should keep that in mind. If you're coming to Canada to study a program you already studied back in your undergraduate, I'd advise that you should probably take some of the books or textbooks that you use there, because everything you're going to be doing will be an advanced knowledge from that stage. And if you have probably gone to work for a while before coming to continue your study, you might have forgotten a lot of these things, so you might just need this background knowledge to help you. So you can also bring that when you're coming, not something too much, so that you do not fill your luggages with unnecessary books or paying for extra luggages just because you have so many books. I'm not saying bring all your textbooks or bring all your books. I'm saying if you have some textbooks that can help you, try to bring them, and this is not compulsory, definitely. Another thing I'm going to say is research on the kind of jobs in demand in your country, and this one is specifically for permanent residents. Research for those jobs and start taking short courses on them already. You have Udemy, you have Coursera, you have LinkedIn Learning that can help you start off, so that when you come here you just apply for those jobs already. In Canada, they usually request for either having that experience in that field or having an academic qualification for that field. So if you have either of those, you can qualify for the job. You can be the best person for the job. So instead of you coming to Canada and starting to just take those courses, those periods when you were waiting for your visa back in your home country, you can start taking these short courses to help you kick off on the right level and to have all the necessary skill set that those jobs in demand will require. This last one that I'm going to share with you, join communities. Guys, this one, join communities, especially if you don't have anyone in Canada. I would say try to check different platforms. We have Nairaland in Nigeria. We have so many Telegram groups. I don't know anyone, but I know that there are a lot of Telegram groups out there that helps people to answer a lot of questions that they need as to the province that they are going to, city they are going to, or different things. Like, just join communities so that you don't even feel alone. Also, when you land in Canada, try to associate yourself with some communities whereby you can have friends, because the saying that Canada is lonely is not a myth. If you don't have the right people around you, if you don't have the right friends, the right networks, you'll be very lonely and you might even miss out on a lot of information. So try to join communities. It's going to help you a whole lot. Okay guys, I've come to the end of this video and I hope that you enjoyed it. If you've been living in Canada for a while now and you have some other points of information that you'd like to share, please do so in the comment section to help others kick off on this journey of relocation. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye guys.